Few names strike fear into the heart of their enemies more than his. An unstoppable force, an immovable object. He is relentless. He is inevitable. He is Thanos. And with the Infinity Gauntlet in his arsenal, alongside the 6 Infinity Stones, he wields all the power in the known universe. And today, I'm going to show you how to become Thanos in Destiny 2. Except we're no longer the Mad Titan, we're the Mad Warlock? Yes, Warlocks have access to one of the most powerful builds in Destiny 2. In this build, we will collect all the subclass Infinity Stones and get access to nearly every subclass verb available. I'm talking Radiant, Volatile, Devour, Jolting, Ionic Traces, Scorching Targets, Font of Might, and Constant Healing. Yes, you heard me right. In Destiny 2, Warlocks have acquired the Infinity Gauntlet. Gets me every time. Let's talk about it. So first things first, we're on a Void Warlock. This gives us access to all of our Void abilities. We're going Cataclysm Nova Bomb because a giant tracking ball of death that explodes into tiny little tracking balls of death seems like something Thanos would use. We have Healing Rifts in this build, convenient for healing, but also pairs very well with our Aspects and Fragments. More on that later. For your jump, you can use whatever you want, although you do get extra style points for using Blink. Now, our melee, Pocket Singularity, allows us to make enemies volatile on demand, giving us our very first Infinity Stone, Volatile. And for our grenade, we have Scatter Grenades. If you've consumed my content for any amount of time, you know just how much I love Scatter Grenades. Super powerful, super reliable, an easy way to get a grenade kill when you need one. For aspects, we have Child of the Old Gods. This gives us 2 fragment slots and makes our Healing Rift spawn a Void Seeker, which feeds all our abilities. We also have Feed the Void. This might be the best Warlock aspect available. It makes every Void ability kill grant us Devour, instantly healing us and giving us back grenade energy, and more importantly, giving us stone number 2, Devour. Now I know what you're thinking. Flawless, that's just a Void Warlock build. Listen, have I ever steered you wrong? Trust your boy. We're taking this to another level with our weapons, exotics, mods, and fragments. Let's run through the fragments real quick. We have Echo of Instability, where defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your Void weapons and gives you a nice +10 to strength. We have Echo of Provision, where damaging targets with grenades grants melee energy, but it does take away 10 strength. Echo of Expulsion makes our Void ability Final Blows cause targets to explode, and Echo of Exchange makes our melee Final Blows grant grenade energy. For stats, I chose 100 Discipline because I want my grenade to be up as much as possible. Now, let's get to the fun part. First, we gotta start with the exotic that we're using, and making a return is one of my new favorite exotics, Rain of Fire. These exotic boots make it so that any kill you get with a fusion rifle or linear fusion rifle makes you radiant and gives us access to stone number 3 for our build, Radiant. But our quest for ultimate power doesn't end there. We have more stones to acquire, and to help us do that, we have our exotic weapon for this build, the Delicate Tomb. If you've seen my Radiant Surge build, you know just how much I love this fusion rifle, and it fits perfectly inside the Infinity Gauntlet. This exotic is key to our next 2 Infinity Stones. Its exotic perk not only spawns Ionic Traces, which feed your abilities, but also jolts targets after you pick up an Ionic Trace, giving us stones 4 and 5, Ionic Traces, and jolted targets. And now we have only one more stone to collect, the Scorch Stone. And this one is, actually it's very easy. You just equip Cry Mutiny. It's the seasonal vendor weapon, or any other heavy weapon that can roll incandescent. If you have a craftable fixed odds, there you go. If only Thanos knew it was that easy. Sorry, Gamora. But now, with our 6 stones collected, we now need a gauntlet that will allow us to harness all the power we just collected. And here is where you actually have some options. Basically, what you want is any weapon in the kinetic slot that can roll osmosis. That's going to be your go-to, and you're about to see why. But first, let's talk mods. First, we have Elemental Ordnance, so we spawn Void Wells whenever we get a grenade kill. Next, we have explosive wells, which will spawn us solar wells whenever we get explosion kills. To take advantage of those solar wells, we have Well of Life for constant healing. This is going to stack on top of Devour. And we also have Font of Might for a massive buff to our void weapon damage. And lastly, we have Seeking Wells, so all of our power just comes to us like the good little children that they are. And just like that, snap! Let's talk about the gameplay loop. You approach an enemy or a group of enemies, and boom! You hit them with your melee. Now you're volatile, or if you got a kill, you have Devour. From there, you whip out your delicate Tomb fusion rifle and kill another enemy, which will likely spawn an Ionic Trace, feeding you ability energy back and giving you some options. You can now go on a rampage with Delicate Tomb, jolting waves of enemies with radiant arc damage, or you can swap to your Osmosis primary weapon, chuck a scatter grenade, which will spawn both Void and Solar Wells, and grant Devour, and make your Font of Light boosted Void kinetic rounds volatile, melting anything foolish enough to stand in your way. And if you really want to damage your enemies on an emotional level, we have our Radiant Cry Mutiny Grenade Launcher with Incandescent to clear waves of enemies and the major they're trying to protect. This build has everything, and it's a solo player's dream. I tried it in Gambit. It melts blockers, it melts waves of ads, Radiant stays up constantly, Osmosis means that you're doing void damage with your primary weapon, Heroic Nightfalls, Legendary Lost Sectors, you name it. And it's customizable. You don't have to go exactly with these weapons. Let's say you need anti-barrier rounds. You can switch to Arbalest and still get Radiant by getting your kills with your linear fusion rifle. But you can even get that back by equipping a weapon with Volt Shot. This build does everything. If you don't want Incandescent, you can go with a Stasis heavy weapon, like the Chain of Command, which by the way rolls Osmosis, so you can have it remain Stasis or switch it to Void on the fly with a grenade. And your grenade is up constantly. We haven't even talked about how often your abilities are up because they're feeding into one another. Your melee feeds your grenade feeds your melee, your Rift feeds both of them, and all of that's feeding your super. Potentially every elemental type is covered here, nearly every subclass verb, and unlimited power and abilities. Warlocks, collect the Infinity Gauntlet right now and become inevitable. But that's it for me, that's it for the video. If you liked the video, please do me a huge favor and hit the like button. And if you like this build, please leave a comment and let me know what you like about it. And you can also let me know which builds you would like me to try next. And hey, if you like the channel, go ahead and subscribe. You'll never miss out on some of the awesome Destiny 2 content that we put out regularly. And if you want to try another super fun build, you can click this video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.